I don't know if young men are from Mars and young women from Venus, but when it comes to politics, they do seem to be from different planets. In the U.S. and other developed countries, young women are rapidly becoming more liberal than young men. In the 2022 midterm elections, 74% of young women voted for the Democrat, but only 54% of young men did. In Europe, a survey from The Economist magazine found more young men than older men feel feminism has gone too far. So Tara, what is going on here? Is this just politicians stoking grievance, or is there something more fundamental?
There's something definitely more fundamental. One of the issues is that as we have seen the surge in just simply LGBTQI rights in general, and they're much more aware. You have more young women identifying as that. You also have a real growing sense among young men that, you know, if it's college, if it's not college, then what else is there for them? You know, we don't have a military that just automatically takes everyone anymore. And so I think young men have a real lack of a sense of clear gender and social roles and rules, quite frankly. So both gender roles and social roles, but also the rules of what it means to be one gender versus another, how you interact with one gender versus another. And so I think there's a real sense among young men of kind of a loss of direction, a loss of focus, and quite frankly, a loss of value in society.
So what other than that particular issue might be behind this divergence of opinions? Luke?
Well, I mean, thinking it from an American politics electoral perspective, I mean, the gender gap has grown significantly here in terms of voting patterns over the last 20 years. And John Kerry only got 51% of the vote from women in 2004, besting George W. Bush by 3 points. And for me, one of the things that comes to mind is how the Republican Party has moved in a direction that does not appeal to young women. And when you think about issues like reproductive rights, when you think about issues like climate change, they're out of step. And I think that as someone who thinks there's value to having a strong, moderate, conservative party, that's troubling for American politics.
And the other thing is that women are going to college at higher rates than men. And we know that historically, people with a college education have been more liberal than those without. So I think that's contributing to this as well.
Yeah, I think in addition to all of what's been said, there's also just the basic fact that women live gendered experiences. Women are more likely to experience unequal pay in the workforce, to experience the glass ceiling, discrimination, and of course the reproductive rights as well. And so those different experiences necessarily lead women to have different views. And as Luke pointed out, it's the Democratic Party that speaks most powerfully to those views, which is why the gender gap in electoral politics has leaned in favor of Democrats.
So women are voting Democratic because the party's addressing them, and that's more the issue here than somehow turning off men.
Well, I think these men are feeling as if they are victims, and who plays the biggest victim today? It's Donald Trump. So I think part of this is they're also gravitating to someone who is reinforcing their view of the unfair world. I think young males, you know, again, used to have the ability to earn a lot of money by using their muscle rather than their brain, and that's going away. Socially, they're losing their advantage as feminism is becoming more accepted. So they're feeling victimized, and who's playing on that?
And so
people like Joe Rogan and Donald Trump and the like.
Yeah, well, their victimization, as they're thinking of it, is really about women becoming more equal and our society becoming more inclusive. That necessarily means that they have to lose their advantage. And I'm not crying a river for men just yet.